We are officially 1 month down on my 3-month mini cut, and I wanted to share with you all the deets, how I've been doing, and my weight loss updates. So if you guys are wondering how I'm losing weight, what am I doing, what am I eating, how am I training, all the little bits. And if you're trying to finally jump on this train and really take hold of your health, this is the video for you. Today we're gonna get all into it, and I hope you love it. So let's jump into it. Hey friends, welcome back. My name is Danielle, and this is Daniela Diaries. Here we are inspiring to inspire you, me, everyone to be the very best version of ourselves. Now I say this every time, but we need to have a little disclaimer. Not everybody's version is going to be the same. But as long as we are elevating ourselves, living our lives to our fullest potential, and really putting self-care and self-love at the forefront of our minds and our lives, that's what we're about here. So if you're looking for like-minded individuals, you found your right place, and we hope you would stick around and subscribe. And if you've been with me for a minute, y'all already know we real friends around here, and I love y'all so much. So thank you for sticking with me through all the changes. And thank you for finding this video, because YouTube just, I don't know what I did to it, but it just doesn't share my stuff anymore. I don't know. But anyways, today we're going to jump on in and talk all things weight loss, right? So a little backstory on me, okay? So it's been an official 1 year, officially 1 year since I stopped the keto diet. I should do a whole video like 1 year later, keto, off keto 1 year later or something like that. If you guys want to see something like that, let me know down below, because I can get into the nitty gritty of it. But it has officially been 1 year. And this is what I looked like 1 year ago, around this time. 1 year ago, January. This was me. You could tell I was a little puffy, a little inflamed, a little thick with it. And I needed to kind of reassess. At this point, January this time last year, I kind of finally got a handle on my mental health, and I finally started working out the internal things. Now, if you were been battling the bulge your whole life, I say this pretty much in every video. You guys are probably sick of it, and you're probably gonna roll your eyes, but therapy, you need some therapy, because honestly, if you have been raised with diet culture, anybody I would probably imagine above the age of like 24, 25, then you know how toxic it was, and how there was just so many false information pushed onto us by old school doctors, our parents, the media, whoever, the Hollywood diet, the cabbage soup diet, the cereal diet, Atkins, before keto was Atkins, HCG diet, you name it, honey. If there was a way to starve you, they were going to find it, and they were going to say it was the way to go. So, yeah, not only was my metabolism broken, but my mental health was broken regarding my relationship with food. And I really had to do some soul searching and really figure out how to fix that. And I really dedicated some time to that. And I really owe, I want to say, all my success to that, because I have finally came to a place where food is not the enemy. Food is not a reward. Food is not a treat. Food is not a punishment. Food is not good, not bad, anything. Food is just food. And that's it. You know, it's really, it sounds so simple, but to actually get here was extremely hard. It was extremely mentally exhausting. It was emotionally exhausting. Yeah, I was like a basket case, and it took me a long time to get here. And I'm very, very proud to be here and to share that with you guys. In all honesty, you have to heal your relationship with food and take it from there. So yeah, it was rough. So anyways, here we are 1 year later, January, and this is what I look like now, as of yesterday. I don't even think we're the same people. I know we're not the same people anymore. It's crazy. It's crazy that I feel like at one point in your life, you kind of get to this age where you don't think you can grow anymore. You can change who you are, or it is what it is. Like, the weight's never going to come off, or, you know, my husband still likes me like this, so I don't even care, or something along those lines. And if you're still at that mindset, or you're still there, that's okay. If that's what works for you. The thing is I have found that you cannot want this for somebody else. You have to want it for yourself. You cannot force somebody to take control of their health. You can't force somebody to take control of their weight. You can't force somebody to figure out their relationship with food. And it's not just as simple as like, don't eat. You know what I mean? Stop stuffing your face. It's not that simple. It really isn't. And it's really sad that even in 2023, people think that's all what it is. We'll just stop eating. It's not that simple. You know, it really isn't. So if you have somebody in your life and you think that like, well, if they would just skip a meal or if they would just stop after one serving, they would be better. It's really more than that, you know, and you don't know what they're using that food for to blanket over. You know what I mean? Like mental abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, self-hate, self-destruction. There's a lot of things. Even if they grew up in a perfect home, what goes on in their head may not be perfect, and you don't know. So be very gentle with people, because it's hard being a prisoner of your own body and your own mind. And if you haven't been one, then you're lucky. But if you have been one, then you already know what I'm talking about. What have I been doing this month? Honey, I have been kicking my own butt. So you guys know I do have a trainer. I did hire a trainer. I received a comment the other day on Instagram that said like, my results are fake because I hired a trainer and I didn't, it wasn't on my own, which is absolutely absurd because my trainer lives in Texas, I live in Chicago, and she just gives me the things to do. It's up to me if I do them, you know. She doesn't care if I do them or not anyways. I pay her. I mean, I think she would care, but you know what I mean. So yeah, my results are very real. It's very up to me, and it's hard. So what have I been doing? I've been doing a ton of working out. We started we're slowly like kind of, you know, taking away a little bit of food here and there. I was roughly starting out at probably about like 2,600 calories. And I think I'm probably at like 2,300 right now. The fun fact is though, considering I came from a low carb lifestyle, my body hates high protein. So my carbs have to surpass my protein. And I feel like a lot of people say that, like that's always like the thing you'll see like, on TikTok or Instagram or something like that, and they'll say, make your diet a protein-focused diet, or make sure you're protein prioritizing. And if you look at the people who are saying that, their majority of the time, their protein is their like middle macro. Their carbs are surpassing it, and that's how my body likes it. I'm roughly 200, 250 carbs a day, and we love it here. We love it. Now I'm not eating like potato chips and stuff like that. I'm eating good clean carbs for energy sources, but nonetheless, we get some carbs and we are happy. So I am working out. We're doing 5 days a week training, strength training, a lot of glute work. I am very, very bottom heavy. A majority of my weight resides in the bottom part of my body. So we focus on, I mean, literally every day I am working my legs and my glutes because that's where I hold all of my weight at. I mean, not all, but a big majority of it. So we're really focusing on that, really focusing on tightening up my butt, you know, tighten up the legs and seeing how they look at that way. Weighed in yesterday, I was 178 pounds. I probably am a little bit lighter today because Thursday is a heavy strength training day, and I'm a little bit heavier the day after because I'm inflamed. And this is to give you guys a little bit of a pointer. The scale is just a tool. So for example, okay, I woke up yesterday at like 3 or 4 in the morning to go to the bathroom, jumped on the scale. I was 182 pounds, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I went back to bed. I got up and I weighed in again, went to the bathroom, weighed in again, and I was 178 pounds. Like, that's how much you can fluctuate in a couple hours. So give yourself some grace. A lot of it is inflammation, especially if you are strength training. You're going to get a little bit inflamed. You're going to get a little bit, you know, you're going to hold on to the water because you really kicked butt with weights. It's just what happens. So, you know, usually my weight is a little bit higher on Fridays and a little bit lower on Saturdays. Is that like the end all be all with my trainer? And I'm like, oh my God, like Friday I was 178 and today I was 176 or something like that. No, it really doesn't matter because it's essentially just water weight. So take it as it is, okay guys? And it's very liberating to be able to tell like the scale like, You know, it really is a nice feeling. So we are strength training 5 days a week. We're doing a ton of cardio, unfortunately. Am I doing a lot? Yeah. And I'm not gonna tell you like exactly how much I'm doing, because I mean, is it a little excessive? Yes, but I am in a cut. So this isn't like a permanent thing. Majority of the time, like throughout pretty much this whole time I've been with her, I've been doing roughly about 30-35 minutes of cardio. My favorite form of cardio is the stair climber. You can fight me on it. I know people think it's like the worst. It's the worst because it's the most effective. Stair climber, #1, will kick your butt, and that's what I do for like 3 out of my 5 days of training is the stair climber, and I love it. I mean, it's hard, but you can do it. My mom does it for an hour, honestly. So if she can do it, I mean, she only does it at level 1, but she can do it. Anybody could do it. My mom's 60 years old, so you know, it's hard, but she can do it. I have my dad doing it with me. It really does work very, very well. So yeah, we're still just kind of nicking away at the food and just training. It's very, very simple. I feel like a lot of people want to change. You want to change. Oh, what are you doing for this? I need to change my workout. The thing is when you're working out, you really want to stay on the same workout plan for at least 6 to 8 weeks. At least 6 to 8 weeks, you want to stay on that same workout. It's repetitive motions, but the difference is you're progressively overloading. What I mean by that is you're going to still do the same workouts, the same movements, but you're going to add in a little bit of weight each time. So if you know, like last week, you were able to leg press 200 pounds, and you're like, all right, well, this week, try to do like 210 or 225, or, you know, slowly add it to where you're comfortable and go from there. You don't have to add like a 45-pound plate on there every time. Take advantage of the 2.5-pound plates, 5-pound weights, you know, but slowly add up the weight to make it a little bit harder each week. That's where you're gonna see your results. Same thing goes as eating. I'm not starving myself, guys. I'm not starving myself. I was actually talking to somebody on Instagram today, and I had to reverse diet for a very long time because I was so restrictive with my food, and my body was so used to being in such a severe deficit that it was just stalled. My metabolism was stagnant, and it took a while to heal it. How do you kick it back into speed? You feed it. You get it going again. Give it fuel. You keep it going. As soon as it starts, the tank starts to run on E, you give it a little bit more. You can keep it going. That's just the name of the game. I'm actually very much interested in starting a training program, like starting to offer training. So right now I feel comfortable enough offering like a training program for physical training, like physical work. I don't know just yet if I'm ready to offer anything for nutrition. I know I'm not ready for offering anything for nutrition. So that's going to be a slow thing that I'm going to incorporate, but I'm definitely very interested in maybe getting some classes underneath my belt to be able to be educated enough to guide you guys. If you guys would be interested in following something like that, let me know, and I would love to like help some of you guys. I know with the training part, I'm golden. It's the nutrition part that I'm not as educated as I want to be to pass out information to you guys, because I want you guys to succeed, and I don't want to be the person who's giving you bad information. I do have a nutritionist that, she's a holistic nutritionist that if you guys were interested in, I can give you her information. I don't know if my coach is accepting people right now. The last time I spoke to her about it was a few months ago, and she said she wasn't, but I can always give you her information. You could try out her coaching forms, but I don't know if she's accepting because she's also about to go into training herself for her pro card. So it's right now is like improvement season for a lot of professionals, and then they're about to start going into prep for the shows in like late spring and early summer. So it's gonna start getting crazy in the fitness world for sure. So if you were looking for any advice on how to start, you are ready to finally get your butt in gear. You're like, all right, I made this resolution to really take 2023 seriously. Where do I start? I would recommend 100% starting with your eating. Okay, and when I say starting with your eating, I mean making very small but realistic changes, okay? Meaning get a food scale. One of you girls kept saying, oh, I'm gonna get a scale, and then I actually just seen one of her messages on here, and she's like, Danielle, I was under eating. I can't believe I was under eating. I thought I was overeating. You would be surprised that if you just take a relative approach in just using the serving sizes, right? Just going by serving sizes. Give yourself, for example, this is my advice, okay? This is my advice. This is how I would start. Your protein, make it about 4 ounces. Your carb source, potatoes, rice, pasta, I would start with about 125 grams. Vegetable, you start about 125 grams on that as well, and then go from there. So, and then if you want to have a fruit in the morning, something along those lines, if you're going to have your breakfast, I would do 2 eggs. I would try to stick with turkey bacon, because the truth of the matter is your fats are essentially what most people go over. So like regular bacon, peanut butter. I mean, a lot of people think like, oh, peanut butter, it's a protein source. Peanut butter is a very mild protein source. It's more of a fat source, and too much fat will add the poundage on. That's a very large chunk of calories right there. So if you just say, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a bagel with a tablespoon of peanut butter. Honey, when you measure out that peanut butter, you're gonna be shook and be like, damn, that's it. But make it work. I get 10 grams. I make that peanut butter work. Make really great substitutions. If you're going to want to do rice, I prefer jasmine rice. If you're going to do pasta, I do a lot of pasta. I don't do a lot of red sauces or anything because of the inflammation. So I would just recommend just starting there, just to take a week or two and really just focus on what you're eating. How much are you eating? That is going to be an eye-opener. And I say this because my daughter has recently started doing this, where she was like, dang, like I could not believe how big my portions were for just the simplest things. Now I know that some people are like, and I'm not trying to like be argumentative or be a problem, but I know people are like, oh, well, that's very triggering for me. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Everything's going to be triggering for you with food unless you get your mental health under control. It is what it is. Everything regarding food, whether it's you're weighing it, whether you're timing your meals, whether you're, being mindful of your ingredients, everything is going to be triggering for you when it comes to food, because food is a trigger for you. So until you conquer that, you got to stay away from these crazy restrictions where you're like, hey, well, I'm going to do a fast for 3 days and only drink water. Okay. But if you're still having these issues with food, you're just feeding the demon a little bit more. I highly recommend just getting that scale, really focusing on portion sizes. And then once you get that, give yourself 2 weeks. Don't start running into the gym. Everybody wants to hit the gym and start doing hip thrusts because they want to grow a butt. Don't do that just yet, okay? Focus on your food. Your weight loss is going to be 80% based on how you are eating, okay? Focus on the food, focus on your portions, focus on what you are actually eating. Honey, if you're eating 3 or 4 Reese cups at night, that's an issue. Cut back to 1, just 1. And if you say, okay, well, it's a trigger for me, resort back to the therapy part. And I know it sounds crazy, but it works. It works. Having food issues is a disordered eating. I feel like if we were to say, if you would correlate having issues with food, having a bad relationship with food, having severe restrictions with food, having food give you anxiety, if you would, that is much of an eating disorder as anything else that is labeled, okay? Think of it, it is a lifelong issue, and it's something that can be fixed, but you need a professional to help you do it. Unfortunately, we cannot conquer these demons on our own. Honey, I tried to do it myself, and it wasn't in the books, but you could do it, and I know you can. And I promise you, just give it a try. I keep saying this, but you would be surprised at how much your quality of life would improve once you start tearing off the painful emotional bandages and really getting down to the nitty-gritty. Now, it's not fun. It's not fun. It's painful. You'll be pissed. It is what it is. But it is beneficial in the long run, I promise. Believe me. So for these first 2 weeks, and we can do an update and we can come back if you guys want to do it and see how you guys are. How is everything going? Honestly, if you just today, after you watch this video, go and buy a food scale, order one from Amazon. For the next 72 hours, track your food, just what you are eating. And I don't want you to look at the portions, don't cheat. I want you to serve yourself what you think it is. So if you're like, oh, I'm going to have some rice with dinner, whoop, 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 measure that out. And if you look at it and you're like, all right, well, for dinner, I had 300 grams of rice. And then grab your protein choice, steak, pasta, whatever it is you're gonna eat, whatever your protein is, right? And you grab so then you're like, boom, all right, here's my chicken breast, and it's 10 ounces. Okay, boom. All right, do that. And I'm gonna have some vegetables. All right, well, vegetables are free, so I'm gonna throw those on here, and I'm having 600 grams of vegetables. Okay. I want you to do that. Have a little food journal. This is what I had. All right, for breakfast, I'm having 4 eggs. I don't know, this looks good, this amount of cheese, just sprinkle it on there. You're having 6 ounces of cheese on top of your eggs. You're having 2 pieces of bread, and then you're having 3 pieces of regular bacon. I want you to write that down. And at the end of each day, I want you to really look at that, and I want you to try to enter that into a food journal that gives you the caloric intake. You would be baffled. Now, the same thing can go where you're like, all right, well, this is all I'm eating, and you're eating 50 grams of rice, and you're having 2 ounces of protein, and you're having 25 grams of green beans or whatever it is, and you're severely under-eating. You're either under-eating or overeating. If you're struggling with the weight, you're not eating the appropriate amount for the appropriate time for the appropriate reason. You see what I'm saying? This can work. I know it can work. I know it could work, and I would really love for you guys to try it and report back to me on what your findings were. So for this first few days, do that, okay? Get that under, see what you're doing, and then really take a minute and be like, wow, I'm not eating enough. No wonder why I'm hungry. No wonder why I'm binging at night, because I'm barely hitting 800-900 calories during the day, and I should be about 2,200. What I want you guys to also look into something called TDEE. This is the total amount that you need of calories you need to just survive, that your body needs for energy. You might just need 2,500 calories a day just to survive, for your organs to function. And you're only feeding yourself 1,500 because somehow that became the magic number. You should only, honestly, if you need 2,500, you should be in a deficit of maybe 200 calories. This is how crazy the world has gotten, and the crap they put in our heads to make us believe that that was the perfect number. And it's taken me so long to understand that. And that's why I want to make sure I'm very educated on the nutrition aspect before I can offer any help to anybody, because I want to make sure I'm leading you guys down the right path and be knowledgeable while doing it. So I will see you guys. I hope you guys like this video, and yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in a couple weeks for month 2 update. But if you guys want to see anything about like my year post keto, we can do that. Or if you want to do like maybe a live in 2 weeks and kind of go through your results after this video on your findings on what the scale was actually, the food scale was saying, not your scale for your body weight. I'm not talking about that. The food scale, how much are you actually consuming, and if are you under consuming or over consuming? That's the key. I don't care what the scale says. The scale is another day, another problem for another day. Let's focus on how much we're eating, when we're eating, what we're eating, and then we can go forward. Good luck to you guys. I know you guys got this, and you guys are gonna kick butt. See you guys in the next one. Bye.